Partner Solution Manager in Microsoft, and Nandan will take us what is going on in terms of this entire BI and AI transformation. So, welcome to Nandan. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tara. First of all, a very warm good evening to everybody. Just a short introduction. I am Nandan. I manage data and AI as a business for Microsoft, North of India, East of India growth market. First of all, amazing panel discussions. After hearing to all the stalwarts and subject matter experts, to be very honest, I don't have much to add. So I would not take much of your time, but it's great to hear, all of you, the real industry stalwarts talking about real use cases. So reading the room, one thing that I feel was common across was when we say AI, it's not like any other product that we position to anybody, right? When we say AI, it is not what, in fact, Microsoft has been part of many transformations, innovations throughout its 50 years of span, right? And Satya Nadella, when he came to India in January, told one thing. Though we have been part of so many transformations, but AI transformation, what we are through now, is something very different than that. Because so far it was always those products that Microsoft built and sold, but when it comes to AI, it's the use cases. And I think that's one common thing that we heard from all the subject matter experts that we had throughout different panel discussions. And that's the biggest reason why, because of the use cases, is Microsoft investing that $4 billion in India, because so far, as part of every different innovations that we were part of, we always talk to those big corporates, be it the servers or the OS, but with this AI transformation, we are able to hit those Bharat part of India, the India 2.0, right? We are able to hit or touch the lives of all those, billions of Indians that were untouched before because of this AI innovation. And as rightly discussed during our panel discussion, it's the use cases that matter now. How are we touching those lives? What are we going to do leveraging the AI, right? So now, as a representative of Microsoft, just on top of whatever has been discussed throughout the day, I would just touch upon for brief 10-15 minutes as to how can Microsoft, along with Curate Data, act as that enabler for us to build those solutions that touch the lives of our consumer base. So when we talk about AI transformation, what are those first things that come into our mind, right? So we already, set the context that when we say AI, it's all about use cases. What do we want to do? We want to understand those gaps that we would be seeing in many of our processes and operations, and would want to fill those gaps using AI. And that is a use case story that we're talking about. So when we say AI transformation, where do we want to focus this AI innovation at, right? We want to think all those things before, if we are talking about use cases, we want to understand what are those gaps. So if we have to bring up that AI transformation within our organization, which are those set of employees who we should enable first and why? And where will we apply these AI transformations to serve our customers better? How do we streamline our operations? And most important than everything, right, as rightly mentioned in the previous panel, where Rajiv was mentioning garbage in, garbage out as well, right? So no, there is no AI without data. We all are going bananas about AI. The AI is a buzz, but unless data is good enough, no AI model would give equally good, the results. And how do we secure that data, as Madhur rightly mentioned as well, right? So we need to think around those data security policies. And is our platform ready for AI development, and how will we measure as metrics for the AI success, given it's all vague now? These are certain things that we would want to consider before, thinking about venturing into the realm of AI. So considering all those, And this is where I would also like to say, what is that Microsoft story? There are so many third-party vendors. Anything we want to do on AI, we have so many vendors we can go and talk to, right? There are so many apps that morphs the images or makes anybody sing like Arijit Singh, but that's not that what it is, and that's exactly what Madhur also talked about, the compliance factor, right? When we say Microsoft, it's the enterprise ecosystem which we talk about, which is surrounded by security. We'll cover that in the upcoming slides. So, how is AI shifting business today? It's actually impacting every individual, every team, and every industry. How is it? And this is the Gartner report that the top 50 consumer goods company will leverage at least one Gen AI applications probably by end of 2025. So when we say that AI means use cases, what do use cases do? They fill the challenges, fill the challenge gaps. What could be some such challenges that we would want to talk about, right? Specifically for our industry, it can be the shifting consumer preferences because of higher demand of personalized offerings and experiences, growing emphasis on D2C, online commerce. At the same time, there is cost pressure, there is workforce pressure, big attrition rate, material borrowing, sourcing cost, and ESG is one big thing which we all want to consider, right? How to meet those sustainability goals can be one of the challenges. And obviously, we had one very specific panel discussion on supply chain. That itself tells us how important it is to tackle the supply chain complexities. So this is how we would want to see or perceive AI as to how can it actually solve our challenges for better productivity of ours and performance. In fact, I talked about the top 50 wanting to do something on generative AI, but if you see, everybody share one common theme. 93% of the consumer goods customers say keeping up with changing consumer demands is a priority. 97% agree that sustainability is a priority. 90% agree that investing in driving data through supply chains is a priority. So how do we think around this, right? In fact, this is an IDC report that for every $1 a company invests, the ROI is close to 3.5x, right? When we say that, it doesn't mean anything and everything that you do on AI would bear results unless it's well thought and maps with our structure, with our strategy and requirements. And so retail sector estimates generative AI increase revenue of 400 to 660 billion dollars. So talking AI, what can be those specific use cases that some of our global customers have already imbibed, at the same time can actually act as that differentiating factor, right? On basis of everything that we discussed in the two slides before this. So do we want to accelerate time to market with consumer insights and design? Yes. The second one would be how to increase the productivity and creativity of our marketing team powered by AI. How do we want to deliver those personalized consumer experiences through natural language? And also, how do we want to transform factory operations with data insights? So if we have to understand everything that we saw in the previous slides and have to identify those 4 key use cases that we would want to focus upon, these can be some of them. And as testimonials, there are our global customers who have worked around these use cases successfully, impacting their business outcomes. Are some of these where Coca-Cola and Estee Lauder have implemented Azure AI capabilities to accelerate their go-to-market. At the same time, Nestle, CDW have increased their productivity and creativity from a marketing standpoint. And in fact, if you see CDW, their work quality was increased by 88% and enabling 77%, and the productivity of 85%. The Clarins Channel, these are some of our global customers who have actually made that difference, by implementing AI strategies. I have individual slides on all this, but I would like to skip for now. I'm happy to share it with Curate data team. If we want to probably go through all of them. So now that we discussed about what all can be the AI, what all can be the industry challenges that probably we can try to fix using AI. What is it that can be considered as a AI use case? So, if we have figured that out, how can Microsoft, in partnership with our partners like Curate Data, can actually act as that enabler? As I already talked about, right? There are so many AI vendors. What is it that makes Microsoft different with respect to that is something we would try to cover in the next 5-10 minutes. So when Microsoft says AI, it's not just that LLM that we are talking about. It's not just the conversational AI that we are talking about. It's the enterprise grade AI landscape that we are talking about, right? So for Microsoft, this is the AI stack. It all starts with cloud and edge as a base layer, the robust infrastructure, foundational models, data, AI orchestration, and agents. Let's get into each one of them briefly. So when we talk about AI infrastructure, so we have data centers across the globe. We have more than 60 Azure regions, 3 in India, 4th coming up in Hyderabad. Talking about foundational models, there is this cliche that Microsoft, through its partnership with OpenAI, it's all about OpenAI, but that's not the case, right? When we talk about Microsoft's model catalog, it is not only limited to OpenAI, but also it leverages OpenAI to the degree that the competes can't compete. Only because if you see our model catalog, there is foundational models, open source models, task models, industry models. Whatever you're seeing on the second row, the Azure OpenAI service, Azure AI Search, AI Agent service, all these are through our partnership with OpenAI. This is very service specific, where say you want to explore something around face recognition or text to speech, speech to text. You wouldn't want to subscribe to any LLM model just for that, right? And that is where our partnership with OpenAI comes into picture, where we give all of them as service on a token based billing model. So say I want a text to speech service, I don't have to subscribe to any model. Thanks to Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI, I can just use the text to speech service that Microsoft offers. So where do we see all these services? How do we implement them is something we'll cover in the next slide. But having said that, it doesn't mean that we are limited to only OpenAI. Microsoft supports each and every model that there is in the market, including DeepSeek, which is the most recent one. So when we say Microsoft's AI landscape, it is OpenAI powered services. At the same time, it's everything else apart from that as well. And on the left, you would see our developer productivity tools also, which are AI powered, be it the GitHub Copilot, which improves productivity by 80%, the Visual Studio, Copilot Studio are different productivity related agents that we have built. So when I say we support every model, this is what you are seeing. It's not only OpenAI, be it Cohere, Databricks, Hugging Face, be it the Llama or DeepSeek. We support each and every model that there is in the market. In fact, we support more than 1800 models on Azure's model platform. So we talked about the support for every model, right? We talked about the different services that we provide with the partnership with OpenAI as well. Now, how do we map the use cases to the technology support enabler that we are providing? The first immediate option, step that you would want to take is you would want to play around different models by yourself. That's the best way of believing, right? So that is where we introduce something called as Azure AI Studio or Azure AI Foundry. This is a single interface playground where all of your technical team or whoever it is can actually go probably deploy any of the different services that we have, try around them, understand how to best use them, and probably see those results by yourself. I'll just play a video on how it works.
Introducing Azure AI Studio, a full lifecycle tool to build, customize, train, evaluate, and deploy the latest next-generation models responsibly. With just a few clicks, developers can ground AI models with their structured and unstructured data to quickly and easily build customized, cutting-edge conversational experiences for their customers. Developers can take advantage of a new model catalog that works with the popular models organizations use, including those from Azure OpenAI Service, Hugging Face, and many other open source models. With Prompt Flow, developers can combine relevant data from your organization and create a detailed prompt to get better results. Prompt Flow works with Foundation, internally developed or open source models, and uses popular open source tools, LangChain, and Semantic Kernel. And because the AI systems we build are designed to support our AI principles, with Azure AI Content Safety, we are making it easier for you to test and evaluate your AI deployments for safety. This is Azure AI Studio, the trusted tools you need to build the next generation of AI applications.
So this acts as one playground for you to experiment anything and everything on AI. So identify the use cases, map the services that enable the use cases, and this is a place where you go probably to test around and see the kind of results that it should give. And these are some of the AI first movers, specifically from India. In the slide that I showed before, it was more global, but within the past couple of years, these are the the cross-industry giants that have actually used Azure AI to improve their business strategy and productivity. So now that we have covered the AI infrastructure, the foundational models, now comes the most important piece of the lot, right? Not many would understand that do whatever you want around AI, but unless your data estate is sorted, no AI model can work as good as it can otherwise be. So when I talk about Microsoft's data platform, if you start from a very infrastructure as a service layer, we obviously started with SQL servers on Azure VMs. Then we moved to something of more of a platform layer where we provided support for Azure Databricks, Cosmos DB, Oracle, Mongo, you name it. But we are moving to a more SaaS-based solution from a data estate point of view. In lines with Snowflake, which is Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric is that one SaaS-based solution that you can use for your entire end-to-end data estate, data analytics use cases. So what is it? What is Microsoft Fabric, right? Imagine there's a single SaaS-based solution which brings together your data factory, data engineering, data warehouse, data science, and Power BI, which is data visualization, as part of single platform with single billing, supported by Copilot on that, and OneLake for storage, and Microsoft Purview for again the point raised by Madhu, compliance and security. That is Microsoft Fabric for you. So just to put it, give it a better context, right? Obviously, all of us through our journey from day one, we have grown organically from a digital landscape point of view. Wherever we wanted, anything to do around HR, we would have talked to any HR vendor. Anything to do around CRM, we would have purchased any CRM tool. By the end of it, what happens is, by the time we mature, we would have easily 8 to 10 data sources residing very distinct to each other, disparate, not talking to each other. So that would be our data estate, right? We would have Salesforce, some data on Salesforce, some on Excel, some on some hyperscaler. But for any AI to work, as we earlier talked about, data matters a lot, right? How does it help if our data is residing in 10 different places, not talking to each other, completely unstructured? So that should be the data unification, should be our first stage towards preparing our data. Now, if I would say Microsoft Fabric comes inbuilt with more than 150 connectors for every different data sources, regardless of it residing on Microsoft or our compete hyperscalers or on-premise, we don't mind. That is what Microsoft Fabric brings. Now that let's consider we have brought in different data from different data sources. We have stored it in one place, which is one lake. What next? We want to structure the data. We have to follow the Medallion architecture for it to move from bronze layer to silver layer to gold layer, right? Again, Microsoft Fabric supports all the Kafka, Spark, jobs to actually do the data transformation. And if you want to do data, create machine learning models, probably in the silver layer of data, the one lake is interoperable with Azure ML Studio. And now on the data that is in a gold layer makes sense structured. If you want to do any visualization practices, that's where Power BI also comes out of the box with Fabric. And now if you want to understand the data better, talk to the data using natural language, all the Azure OpenAI models can directly connect with one lake. Net, that is what Fabric is. If all different data jobs come together under single offering, that is what Microsoft Fabric is. In fact, we call it Power BI on steroids. So just a small short video on how the look and feel of Microsoft Fabric.
Microsoft Fabric is redesigning how we work with data by bringing all your data and analytics tools into a single experience. With Fabric's Data Lake, One Lake, your teams can connect to data from anywhere and all work from the same copy across engines. Your data professionals have all the tools they need, all in one SaaS experience to reduce the cost and effort of integration. Features like Direct Lake Mode in Power BI, which provides a blazing fast, real-time connection to your data, can save you time and cost while providing up-to-date insights. This intelligence can then securely flow to the Microsoft 365 applications people use every day to improve decision-making and drive impact. All backed by Fabric's tight integration with Microsoft Purview to govern and protect your data, no matter where it's used. AI-powered features like Copilot help everyone be more productive, whether it's creating data flows and pipelines, writing SQL statements, or building reports. And as we enter a future built on AI, you can unify, prepare, and model your data to support truly game-changing AI projects. All your data, all your teams, all in one place. This is Microsoft Fabric.
Next generation AI in Microsoft Fabric empowers you to unlock the full potential of your data. With Copilot integrated into every data experience, Microsoft Fabric lets you use natural language to bring your data to life. From integrating data to writing code, to finding insights and creating reports, new transformative AI experiences work alongside you every step of the way, so you can stay focused on getting value from your data. Copilot helps turn your words into data flows and data pipelines, so you can intelligently integrate data from anywhere. When writing code, Copilot automatically suggests code and entire functions in real time, and Copilot can guide you to create machine learning models to unlock insights in your data. Just by chatting with Copilot, you can visually explore your data to create stunning reports, discover insights, and summarize your data into easy-to-understand text narratives for sharing. With Copilot, you can turn insight into action with triggers that monitor your data and notify users. You can even create your own custom natural language experiences that combine Azure OpenAI models and your organization's data, and easily publish your creations as plugins. And with your data in Fabric, Copilot provides insights and answers everywhere work gets done. Most importantly, Microsoft Cloud runs on trust, which means your data always remains your data. Bring your data into the era of AI with Microsoft Fabric.
So taking a cue from the last part of the clip, right? Your data always remains your data. So if you saw our Copilot or AI stack, it started with infrastructure, the model catalog, the data, then there was the agents which we have built around productivity, which is M365 Copilot, but everything was surrounded with a layer of security. In fact, Microsoft is the only hyperscaler with a publicly available document, which I can share as well, which says neither Microsoft nor OpenAI would access any of your data, be it for training or any other purposes. And given our suite around security, which is the Sentinels, the Microsoft Purviews, the Defender on cloud, security is something that we take very seriously. And if I'm not wrong, that is what we discussed more in the last panel, where we call it as responsible AI. In fact, for the different services that I talked about around face recognition, text to speech, custom voice, in order to ensure that AI is used responsibly, we don't give access to anybody and everybody. It has to follow a process involving me or my counterparts from Microsoft. We do that, analysis of the use case for which we are, leveraging the services, so that the AI will be used responsibly. So I started with, at Microsoft, when we say AI, it's not just some of the LLM models that we are talking about. It is the enterprise AI ecosystem full stack that we are talking about, right? After that, I talked about AI, data and everything. So now, as the last slide, if you have to put everything that we talked so far together into one use case, for example, let's take a demand forecasting use case. So just considering we have 4 data sources, something on product inventory, residing on data lake, something on store activity monitoring, which is through IoT Edge, IoT Hub, Event Hub, and residing on Azure Data Factory. Let's say we have our customer demographic data, which is unstructured on AWS S3, and let's say we have our behavioral data structured on proprietary, Snowflakes. So considering this scenario, this imaginary scenario for us, let's say we have data disparate to each other, residing in different places. We can leverage Fabric to bring all of them together. For some of the cases, there are shortcuts. Otherwise, we can custom build those pipeline connectors. This is the left hand side, right? When we talk AI, we only see the right hand side. We see the Azure OpenAI service, for example here, or be it any other service. The right hand side doesn't work unless everything else also comes together, right? Let's say our question is, what are the biggest factors impacting my forecast next month? That is, very shallow way of looking at it, unless we look at the entire picture. And that is where Microsoft ecosystem comes into picture, right? This is where the different data have been brought into one data source using Fabric. Fabric also supports Power BI for data visualization. It also supports data transformation from unstructured to structured. At the same time, if you want to build that forecasting model, that is where Azure ML Studio comes into picture. Now that our data is actually structured and in a better shape on Fabric, it can directly connect with Azure ML to build that ML forecasting model for us. Once we have the model ready is when we can actually direct our inventory to the right geography based on the demand. But also added Azure OpenAI service, if you want to talk to your ML model as well, using natural language, say what are the biggest factors impacting my forecast next month question, has to route to the ML model. That is where you get the right answers as well, where you can interact with your model. So again, reiterating, when we say AI, it's that enterprise grade AI ecosystem that we talk about, and I believe there's no better slide than this, which actually conveys why Microsoft can support you throughout the journey of AI to actually achieve the use case that you have decided after identifying those challenges for your firm. So this is what I wanted to cover around how can we act as that enabler to your use cases through your journey of AI. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nandan. It was extremely wonderful presentation. So since morning we were just talking. Okay, but you have actually shown what is going behind it, and people were having a number of doubts, and you have clarified those, whether it is related with data or how this entire thing is working. And presenting it this time, it is much more relevant because people got some context what we are talking in the morning, and now they understood how safe it is. Even when we are saying, when people ask whether your data is secure or not, then we say if you can trust Microsoft, we are using Microsoft service. So that is the way. It was wonderful presentation, and thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And please feel free to reach out to either of us for anything around innovation around data and AI. Happy to support.
Thank you. Thank you. So we will have 5 minutes break. By that time we are arranging the chairs. We have some snacks and tea. If you want to bring inside also, you can bring inside also. In 5 minutes we will start the last panel discussion. Thank you.